Hello there everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mr Fitzsimmons and I work at St Matthew's Primary School in West Drayton, which is part of the Frays Academy Trust. As my role at St Matthew's, I am the Key Stage 1 phase leader and also the literacy subject leader. I'm also part of the Frays Academy Trust writing team. Now the writing team have decided that we wanted to run a competition during lockdown, so I'm here today to introduce to you the Frays Academy Trust poetry competition. Now for this poetry competition, we would like you to write about your experiences, about your reflections upon what life in lockdown has been like. You can write any type of poem you like. You could write a limerick, free verse, a haiku, an acrostic poem, any type of poem you like, a shape poem even. It's completely up to you. The most exciting and original contributions will then be included in the Frays Academy Trust Poetry Anthology, which will be published on each of the school's websites. Let's have a look at some examples of poems that you might like to write.
You might decide that you want to write an acrostic poem. Acrostic poems are really simple to write. All you need to do is think of a word, write it down the side of your page, and then think of some words that contain those letters. Once you've done that, you've created yourself a very simple poem with that word going down the side of the page. You can see on the left-hand side, the author of this poem has written lockdown down the side of the page and thought of sentences that begin with that letter. On the right-hand side, you'll see that the author has actually included the word lockdown throughout their poem, not at the beginning of the sentence. So it's completely up to you whether you'd like to write it at the start or put it somewhere else in the middle of your acrostic poem. Alternatively, you could decide to write something like a haiku poem. Haikus have got a very special rhythm within each of the lines. The first line has got 5 syllables, the second line has got 7 syllables, and the last line has got 5 syllables. The person who's written this coronavirus haiku has written 3 verses of 575. The first one says, "Coronavirus, I am stuck inside for now, I want to get out." It keeps going, following the same pattern of 575 with the syllables. At the top right hand side you can see that there is a limerick poem. Limericks also follow a very special pattern. The first, second and fifth lines, the last word will all rhyme with each other: survivor, sanitizer and visor. In the third and fourth lines, again the last word will rhyme with each other: brother and mother. It follows this pattern, so you might like to write as many verses as you like. At the bottom on the right hand side of the page you can also see that there is an emotion poem, and it almost looks like the start of a shape poem that looks like a tree. Perhaps you could think about what lockdown means to you and write your own shape poem like that. Or you might decide that you want to write a slightly longer poem. Your poem could be written in free verse, or it could contain rhyming like this poem. Let's have a read of the first few stanzas of this poem together. As a worldwide pandemic struck, we took it in our stride. We rallied as a nation and vowed to stay inside. We washed our hands with vigour and sang the birthday song. Lockdown was upon us, but it wouldn't be for long. As days turned into weeks, the government tried to inspire us. Follow the guidelines, stay home, stay safe, we'll beat the coronavirus. Weeks, then a month, and the world became serene. Blue skies appeared brighter, plant life a freshest shade of green. Birdsong filled the silence as the country settled into a rhythm of homeschooling our children on the advice that we'd been given. Joe Wicks filled our TV screens in an effort to get us fit. We shopped for the vulnerable and tried to do our bit. Those that could worked from home with babies on their lap, trying to understand technology or download the latest app. Zoom quizzes were our entertainment, a way to stay connected, a virtual means of making sure our families were protected. Strangers smiled at each other more when passing by on their walk, and neighbours stood at the garden gate, a safe enough distance to talk. Rainbows in windows became symbolic of our key workers' dedication. We united on a Thursday night to clap in appreciation.
The deadline for writing your poems is the 10th of July 2020. Once you've finished it, we'd like you to send it with your name and your current year group and your school name the way that your school asks you to. Each individual school has their own way of compiling the poems before we compile it as a whole to make the Frays Academy Trust Anthology. We hope you enjoy writing the poems and we look forward to reading some of them very soon.